Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Disagreeing with homosexuality and the agenda has oftentimes resulted in the label homophobic. Well, we took the test, and we'll tell you about the results on Faith and Freedom. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Matt Barber, director of cultural affairs for Liberty Counsel and associate dean of the law school. Matt, the homosexual agenda, those bloggers that are out there sitting in their rooms, blogging out hate-filled emails and blogs, if you disagree with them on any aspect of the homosexual agenda, i.e. that marriage is between a man and a woman, you are labeled homophobic. You're called a hater and so forth. Well, there's a recent test that was posted on PBS, and on the PBS website, pbs.org, there is a test that is there, and it's a test for so-called, quote, homophobia. You and I took the test, and to all of those bloggers that listen to this and watch this program, we came out non-homophobic in the results. So tell us about the guy who actually created this test.
Yeah, it's official. I've been saying it all along. Disagreement with the homosexual lifestyle does not equal hate or bigotry or homophobia. Those are all labels groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center put on people who disagree with their political position. The test was designed in 1996 by Dr. Henry Adams and colleagues at the University of Georgia. They developed what's called a Homophobia Scale. Now, we have to point out here that we don't even buy into this made-up word, homophobia. It's a label, used as a label to try to hammer people into silence. However, just for fun, we took the test. The test is called the Wright, Adams, and Bernat Homophobia Scale. And I took it with perfect honesty because I really wanted to see what I answered every question with perfect honesty because I wanted to see where I would come on this scale. And I came out, as did you, Matt, as non-homophobic to the chagrin and surprise, I'm sure, of homosexual activists across the country.
As did Rena Linda Valdson, who is one of our senior litigation counsel at Liberty Counsel, and she is involved in all of the same-sex marriage cases around the country. She and I have litigated over 45, almost 50 such cases. And Anita Staver, president of Liberty Counsel, and others at Liberty Counsel as well.
And Steve Crampton.
Steve Crampton, the general counsel of Liberty Counsel, and also Mary McAllister, who has been senior litigation counsel at Liberty Counsel for a while and has been involved in some of these major same-sex marriage cases. The problem that we have here is people want to label you with this made-up term homophobia or homophobic simply because you disagree with the message or the statement or an agenda. And the fact of the matter is we don't hate people who are homosexual. We don't disdain people that are homosexual. That doesn't mean that we don't disagree. In fact, I remember one time, Matt, there was a city council meeting in Orlando, Florida, and it was a discussion regarding whether or not the city of Orlando should adopt a sexual orientation non-discrimination policy. At the end of that event, I went up. There were a group of homosexual leaders in Central Florida, and I wanted to shake their hand. Nobody would shake my hand. I reached my hand out, and finally one of them said, "Why do you want to shake our hands?" And I said, "Because I want to let you know that even though I disagree with this particular policy you're supporting, I don't have any issue with you as a person. I don't dislike you. I don't hate you." Nobody would shake my hand. They equate disagreement with hate, which this test really scores, I think, here by showing you can disagree, but that doesn't mean that you are their label of homophobia.
Well, Matt, I know you and I both, we adhere to the biblical model relative to how we view homosexual behavior and relative to how we treat and interact with those who define themselves as gay or lesbian. And the biblical model is that we are to love them as individuals, which we do, which I do. Anybody who loves a person, truly loves a person, is going to be honest and truthful with that person when that person is engaging in behaviors that are self-destructive. That's another part of exercising true compassion and true love. We do that as well. The biblical model also says that sex outside of the bonds of marriage between one man and one woman, and the Bible is clear on this, is a sexual sin, whether it's homosexuality,
let's just take that
adultery.
As an example. If we're talking about, take it out of the homosexual arena for a moment, and you're talking about adultery, sex outside of marriage. Now,
you're an adulterophobe.
Now, we would still be friends with people that we know that have engaged or may be engaging in adultery. We don't hate them, but we would disagree with that activity.
And counsel them otherwise.
And counsel them that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Now, if those individuals then wanted to promote that and push that into law, that adultery was okay, that adultery in fact is fine, we would take significant disagreement with them on that issue. We would oppose it because we believe that it is destructive to them and to families, that it's not good for our society. It's no different when you translate that into the same-sex sexual activity arena of opposite-sex sexual activity arena. It's no different.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
I've often said, take gay or lesbian, take homosexuality, and add any other sexual sin and see what you get. So people say, do you believe in adultery rights? Do you believe that, another example, you gave a great example there with adultery. We are heading the Day of Purity. Amber Haskew is the director of the Day of Purity. With the Day of Purity, we encourage kids to wait to engage in sexual behavior until they're married. Not to commit the sin of fornication. Does that make us forniphobes because we're opposed to fornication? Well, using the left's logic, we must be forniphobes. We must hate kids who have premarital sex. Well, that's absurd, but this shows you how disingenuous and illogical the arguments of the sexual relativist left are, and how it's purely ad hominem and hyperbole. It's all about personal destruction, personal attacks, in order to try to silence debate on these very polarizing issues.
Yeah, that's an exact example there, and we need to be able to get to the issues and be able to debate the issues. Instead of being labeled. And when I had an argument debate class when I was in college. And the argument and debate class had different kinds of things that you set up in a debate. And one of them is basically a straw man where you create an argument that's not even promoted by the opponent, and then you attack the argument because you don't want to attack the actual argument because you can't attack the argument. Or you vilify the messenger in order to destroy the message. And that's all these are. These are straw man techniques. These are vilification of the messenger techniques in order to avoid the actual argument. Let's get to the downright issues of the debate and not start and stop calling each other names.
Yeah, let's quit calling names. Let's quit smearing people with labels like hate group, which the Southern Poverty Law Center, a far left extremist organization, does. Let's actually debate the issues. They're afraid to do that. They know they lose on the merits. Now, Matt, lest somebody think that we actually give any credence to the term homophobe, or whether they think we give any credence to this homophobia scale, this Wright, Adams, and Bernat homophobia scale. It's treated as credible at PBS. It's treated as credible in leftist academic institutions across the country. Sure, they may view this as credible. Well, guess what, folks? We're not homophobes according to your own test. But really, this test is nonsensical. The only person who would be a homophobe would be somebody who actually fears people who engage in same-sex behavior with one another. I don't know a single person who is afraid of a homosexual. I suppose they may exist, but...
That's exactly right. I think you go back to your argument about minors, children, those that are not married, young children, for example, engaging in sex, fornication outside of marriage. Yeah, you're not a fornophobe. You don't hate children. But you don't agree that that's a good thing for them to do, and you would take vigorous dissent.
And we know that it's demonstrably destructive.
Right, and you would oppose organizations' agendas.
Transmitted disease, yes.
Yeah, that actually promote that as something safe and good because you don't believe it is safe and good. It's the same thing. Go to Liberty Counsel's website for more information about Liberty Counsel as we advance the family, advance religious freedom and life. That website is lc.org. You can also order the book that I wrote called Same-Sex Marriage, Putting Every Household at Risk. I do believe that same-sex marriage in the agenda does put every household at risk, and you'll find out why in the book Same-Sex Marriage, Putting Every Household at Risk. You can order that right there on the website, lc.org. That's lc.org. You can also make an online credit card contribution to support the ministry, and you can sign up for several of our email letters. The Liberty Alert is one, Grassroots Action is another, and also the Liberator newsletter right there on the website. Be sure to also be a part of our Freedom Federation network. Join right there on the website. Begin networking and mobilizing in your community to advance these core values that make America great. Go to lc.org today.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.